the war in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin on the verge of violating international law by declaring parts of Ukraine to be Russian territory as increasing numbers of Russian men head for the border to avoid the military draft. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell is on the scene in Ukraine. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. Well, it wouldn't be the first illegal annexation of Ukraine by Russia, but it certainly would be the largest and most serious and likely to provoke a response from the US and allies. Meanwhile, the first Russians mobilized by Putin just days ago are apparently already fighting on the front lines. But it seems that most of those called up to serve are instead trying to get out of the country.
This morning, a mass exodus from Russia as Vladimir Putin drafts hundreds of thousands of men to help his struggling campaign in Ukraine. 66,000 Russian citizens have entered the European Union over the past week, nearly 100,000 entering Kazakhstan, and 100,000 more into Georgia. The crush to leave so great in part that it can be seen by satellite. ABC's Britt Clennett is on the ground in Georgia.
All these people behind me have had a days-long journey from Russia. They were checked at the border to make sure they weren't on the draft list. But these guys, they're relieved, they're exhausted, but they say they don't have any plans. They just needed to get out.
Dmitry spent 7 days trying to escape, breathless from 2 days on foot crossing into Georgia.
I don't want to kill people and I don't want to be killed. I don't need this war. And I don't support Putin.
And as discontent in Russia grows, on the ground here in Ukraine, fears Russia may escalate as it concludes sham referendums in 4 occupied territories. Putin expected to formally annex them in the coming days. Unsurprisingly, the Kremlin now claiming over 96% of those who voted favour becoming part of Russia. But Ukrainian officials saying the elections were rigged, with some forced to vote at gunpoint. President Zelensky saying this farce in the occupied territories can't even be called an imitation of a referendum. Meanwhile, growing questions this morning around 2 damaged gas pipelines running from Russia to Germany. A Swedish Coast Guard video showing bubbles from a reported major leak under the Baltic Sea. Danish seismic stations recording explosions nearby.
Guys, well, we have some breaking news. Apparently, the US Embassy in Moscow just issuing an alert telling all US citizens to leave Russia immediately, warning that the Russians may refuse to allow those with dual citizenship, basically US and Russian, to leave the country, preventing their departure, even conscript them into military service. The situation with this vote and the war looks set to take another dangerous turn. Amy?